What's up, Casey Ship, creator of HotMomsLifestyle.com with a Z. So I did the 4,000 calorie thing. If you follow these people on social media, I know that the Butterworth girl, like Stephanie Butterworth, I don't know what it is. She has this thing called All In, and she would post pictures of when she was, quote, fitness, but really, clearly she had an eating disorder. I don't even know if she's come out about that, but I mean, it was pretty obvious that unless she was like malnutrition, starving yourself, whatever. But then she went all in, eating these 5,000 calories a day, and put the, eventually your body has this set point, and everybody applauded her for being, thick and curvy and loving her body, which is nowadays like a thing where if you're thick, curvy, it's now healthy, and anybody else is like skinny and just, it's not cool. So I was like, you know what, fuck this. I've been, skinny fat over here, and anytime I'm an ectomorph, hard gainer, whatever you want to call it, but really it's adrenal fatigue, muscle waster. So people like me, I just much rather take some Anavar, okay, and just put on some muscle. But anyway, so I said I'm gonna do 4,000 calories, and I was eating 2,300 a day to 2,800, and I bumped it straight to 4,000. It was hard. I have some stuff on my Instagram about just the foods I was eating and me tracking it. Initially, I felt really good. I had tons of energy in the gym, and I really realized, wow, I was definitely under eating, because I'm very, high strung, but I'm a business owner. I run two businesses. I have a team of people. I have payroll. I got two little kids. They're 3 and 4. I have a husband, been married 13 years. 34, I'm 5'5". I'm very tiny, like I wear a size 6.5 shoe. So a lot of people, they're surprised I'm so tiny when they meet me. Tiny as in like just small bone. So for me, I was, back in the day when I competed, I was like 114. And that was a huge deal. I mean, in high school, I was 5'4", 5'5", and I think how much was I? 90 pounds, 100 pounds? I can't remember. But anyway, so that gives you a little bit of background about my body type and all. But in my 20s, this is what I do. I help goal-oriented women feel and get really hot and super healthy, not doing traditional things like cardio and restricting foods, and I help them heal their mindsets and their metabolisms through my methods, HotMomsLifestyle.com. Because when I was starting out in competition and all that stuff, I was extremely unhealthy, very unhealthy. Even though I was on stage, a lot of these fitness models, it's an unhealthy sport most of the time. Now, we have gone in, and I've actually taken someone that's Hashimoto's with high thyroid antibodies, gotten her ready for a show, and she actually won with the WBFF. She's now a pro. We got her thyroid antibodies down going into a show. So I've kind of tried to come in and be different, show people, hey, you can do this healthy. But I didn't know back then. I was just, feeling my way out, but very unhealthy. I had post-contraceptive syndrome as well. I was 55 on paper. While I was 22, I had polycystic ovary syndrome, severe depression, cystic acne. I still have some scarring left from that. That I had to take Accutane for, because I didn't want to try. I tried the natural route for years, and it was just, with my genetics, I convert to DHT, dihydrotestosterone. I can't ever say that together. So I convert very easily. It comes from my mom's side. Any hormone shifts we get, we convert to DHT very easy. It's just easy. It's what we do. And we typically suffer from things like insulin resistance, diabetes, heart attack, okay? So that's my genetics. Therefore, when I go that route of eating and getting in that, lifestyle, I will typically pick up those genetic traits. So you don't have to be a victim of your genetics. You just have to do things differently than your family did. So I'm telling you that to tell you what happened to me when I did 4,000 calories. So initially I felt better, and I was like, holy shit, this really let me know that I was under eating. It happens, you get busy and you just don't eat enough. So I was like, okay, there's that, and I had just more energy. Then I noticed my libido. Wow, man, there was like 2 weeks there, where a week or 2 weeks, because I only did it for right at 28 days maybe, because I missed a few days in there, didn't hit the 4,000 calories exactly. So, but there was a couple days in there, weeks, whatever, super horny. Like my libido picked up in a major way. But what happened was, I didn't really get sluggish. Most of the time when you're getting into insulin resistance, you get more sluggish. But what happened to me is it threw me into polycystic ovary syndrome, where my androgens went up, and my pancreas was just, working really hard, overactive actually. And that's what happened to me. It threw me into androgen dominance, and then I started to get new breakouts, and I was like, oh fuck. Well, this is when I kind of ex-nayed stopped it. It was creeping up on that 4th week, and I started to feel like shit. Holy fuck, I started to feel like asshole. Now, mind you, I did not hit these 4,000 calories eating pizza or stuff like that. You know, I tried to keep it gluten-free and dairy-free as much as I could, and I did. The only thing I introduced into my diet that I wasn't eating already, because I'm a big promoter of, we eat fruit around here. Like, I mean, I've gotten photo shoot covers, I've hit, you know, covers, and I've gotten girls ready for shows, and we eat fruit. Lots of fruit. That's normally from the bodybuilding world and things that I have in the PDF around this video. 7 things you don't need to be a hot mom. It's one of the things that's in there. So I would eat fruit and all that, but the thing that I didn't eat, that I started eating during the 4,000 calorie thing, was sugar, refined sugar, because god dang, it's so hard to eat that many calories. And but I wasn't eating like shit food. I mean, well, it had sugar in it. So like the Enjoy Life cookies, the dairy-free, gluten-free cookies and stuff like that. I was eating more cereal, like Rice Chex. You know, it has a little bit of sugar in there. So normally I was not eating sugar. I would eat things like ketchup, because there is just more calories and there's sugar in ketchup. So my body, I have been sensitive to sugar before. I'm very sensitive to caffeine and sugar and stuff like that. And me coming from insulin resistant and, you know, estrogen dominance, polycystic ovary syndrome, post-contraceptive syndrome, gut issues and all that really was putting me back into that. Like, I was starting to develop diabetic symptoms, and it happened this one day. I was done with work, and normally I'll do these videos, and after I got off the video, and this happened during pregnancy too, but it had more to do with my blood volume because my aldosterone was so low. But after my video, I felt just really washed. I felt really drained, like when your blood sugar, if you've ever been through hypoglycemic or hyperglycemia, that's what happened to me. And I felt really strange, and I remember calling Skip, just telling him I felt weird, because, you know, if you're home by yourself, it's kind of scary. And this was what happened to me, though, when I was 22. This was when I was getting into this lifestyle. I was going through this, so it's kind of like a flashback. I know what it's like. I used to wake up in the morning and faint if I wasn't eating proper, if I didn't eat right away or something. I was just hypoglycemic. So went over and I had like some dates or orange juice or something. And because I was like, dude, I just ate. Why am I feeling like this? Well, I started to get blurred vision. When you look in a flash and you have that just blurred vision and you can't get it back. So I got in the bathtub. I tried to mentally just calm myself down because I could think myself into an anxiety attack. So been there too. I had that double vision, blurred vision. That was kind of scary. So the next day, and I felt like shit, and I'm an intuitive. So the signs were not adding up, and I was bitching and moaning and complaining. Skip was like, well, fuck it, just stop if that's miserable. And I was just really wanting to do it to prove a point, a couple of points that I'll tell you about. But that's what happened. I went straight back into insulin resistance, started being androgen dominant, and I was turning in like to a diabetic pretty much. It was not good. Like, I mean, I was risking my health at this point. So I was like, fine. Well, I backed off and went down to 3,000 calories, and I feel better. I'm still, I still have, you know, some of that body fat left, but I definitely was adding, you know, some body fat pretty quick, and I have pictures of that. I wanted to see where my body fat would go, and in that meantime, also I have a total hysterectomy, so I was doing a little bit of my estrogen cream. I have some like, what is it called? So I was also adding that in because I wanted to see if my ass would store fat different, okay? Because how we store fat is a lot about our hormones, right? So that's why women that have higher progesterone look kind of just puffy, you know, where somebody with different hormones may have better leg lines, or just they're a little bit harder looking, lower estrogen. So I was trying to prove a point, like, you know, these girls on Instagram, they have eating disorders is what it is. That's all it is. That's all there is to it. And they want an excuse to be X, Y, and Z. And people cheer on, you know, being slightly overweight. And it's cool. Look, if you're healthy, I don't give a shit. I really don't care. I've told people before, I don't care what you do. If you're healthy and happy, who cares? But I wasn't feeling good at this point, but I did want a bigger ass. So I increased my estrogen a little bit, and I did start to hold fat more around my butt, hips, and my husband loved it. He loved the way I looked. So now at 3,000, I do like it. I'll take more pictures, and I feel okay. Actually, another thing was smell. My odor, dude, my BO, it got back to like a teenage boy again. And previously when I was unhealthy before, it was rotten. Like it smelled like a teenage boy. It was nasty. It smelled like rotten vagina. It was bad. I just woke up this morning. I go, oh my God, thank you. It's been about a month since I've stopped, or 3 weeks, yeah. And I'm starting to smell like the metals again. and that may not be good either, but I'm starting, that BO has gone. So that's a wonderful sign, and I just feel better. That's what happened to me, but I wanted to do it for a couple reasons. I coach women who are terrified. A lot of them have eating disorders. And when I say eating disorders, people think that it's binge, purge, or anorexic. No. Eating disorders, meaning they think that there's some limiting beliefs, there's some old belief system where they're scared of food, or they think that carbs are bad, or they think that fat is bad, or if they eat tacos one day, they need to go do cardio. It's called compensatory behavior. Oh, I had too much sugar, let me detox. All those are eating disorders where you're just terrified to even choose what to eat. You're just scared of food. And when we rebuild people's metabolisms, we also have to work on the mindset, because we go back through and connect dots. Like, where did you get this mindset? And usually it comes from either somewhere in the childhood trauma, whether they were bullied or something happened to their parents, projected this onto them, or whatever it is. So we'll work on that on the mindset so that they can start seeing, oh, okay, this is where I learned it. And I have a technique we wipe it clean and create new beliefs. In the meantime, we work on rebuilding their metabolisms. Like me, when I started out, and this is why I got in this situation, I too thought more exercise, more cardio, less food is better. And I went years eating 1,200 calories to 1,400 calories. And I was lifting heavy all the time, and now I lift maybe 4 days a week, and it's like old lady work compared to what I used to train like. But I realized I started looking better than I ever looked. So maybe there's something to this less is more thing. I talk about that, the 7 things you don't need to be a hot mom. But we rebuild metabolisms, and it took me years to do that, to get to the point where I could eat 2,300 calories or 3,000 calories and not, be overweight or have insulin issues and stuff like that and feel good. At the end of the day, that's what you want. We help women and help you, and my goal too is we look at blood work and we show you how to look at the blood work, and we show you the goals that you need to be at, not what's normal, but what you need to be at to look and feel the way you want. And that's my goal. I want to get there. I've gotten my health back twice doing this method, is the way we eat and how we eat. So that's what I'm going to do. But I would like to see how high I can push that threshold before I do spill over and have some of those symptoms, of insulin resistance, sensitivity, and stuff like that. It's all about being healthy. So what took me years to build, we can do now in 6 months to a year if the client follows what we do. So that's why I wanted to do the 4,000 calorie challenge, or whatever you want to call it. It's really called All In is what they call it, where you go and you just start eating a bunch of food. But I told you what I ate. I didn't go and eat pizza because I can't have dairy and gluten. So that would be I didn't want to do it to be unhealthy and be like a slob. I wanted to do it to see, how would this change my hormone? Where would I store fat if I was doing X, Y, and Z? Does this really, what these models are doing and preaching, what are they not telling you? I know they're not liking their bodies, and they say depression, all this, but what are they telling you, and why your body's going through the certain things that it is? And then too, look, I was eating over 400 carbs, I think, well over that. And, I wasn't like now I did get unhealthy, but I went from 2,800 to 4,000. If I would have slowly went up, would it have been the same way? Maybe not. But it is a nightmare eating that much food. That's what I'm saying. You have to build slow. When we call it reverse dieting, when people come out of diets, hard diets or shows, we have to slowly add calories back in their diet, and their body, relaxes and lets go of some fat and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll see if I can get there again. But at this point in my life, I'm building businesses, not bodies, for myself. Building the bank accounts, do you know what I'm saying? So, but when, I still hold it together. We're still holding it together, Can I back up? Can you see, So we still maintain, right? But it's just not show stage ready. But right now, I enjoy adult beverage. I enjoy cocktails. I enjoy my family. I enjoy, sometimes I don't weigh and measure my food. That's fine. Sometimes we go out to eat. That's what we do at hotmomslifestyle.com. That's what I preach and teach. So, and I'm not on any drugs right now. I do hormone therapy, but I'm not on any anabolics. So looking back, for me personally, I'd much rather take something and just be done, and then work on my calories on the way there, because I'll just be hungry by nature. But anyway, I just don't want you to be scared of calories, carbs, or anything else. So my advice to you is, no matter if you're trying to gain or lose, just start tracking your calories with MyFitnessPal. We'll have our own meal tracking system out really soon. So start tracking your calories, and your goal is to eat as much as you can and stay lean and healthy and feel good and have energy. You want to have energy, you want your libido to be good, you want to rest, you want to sleep really good, all of the above. And when you're doing that and you're eating a lot of different types of foods, you're following the food test that we tell you to get, You're focusing on gut healing and eating fruits. Vegetables, you know, vegetables that I eat in baby food because sometimes I just won't eat enough broccoli, but just eating enough. Women are so busy and you just need to eat enough, especially if you exercise. You know, we have to take exercise down for a lot of people. But anyway, hope that helps. I'll post the pictures as well. And you can just see how my body changed. Yeah, and go from there. So that was my 4,000 calorie doohickey, my 4,000 calorie challenge. Thanks, y'all. If there's links anywhere around this video, click it. Would love to help you. Talk to you soon.